Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have some big updates regarding the 2024 election. We've got some of the younger, more socialist Democrats coming out, and they want Biden gone with this horrible approval rating. It is the worst in history in terms of this far into a presidency. The younger Democrats, the ones further to the left, want Biden out. Apparently, the older ones, the donors, if you guys saw, what did Biden raise? Around $26 million. Ridiculous amount of money for someone so disliked. That was with Obama during that little fundraiser where Obama had to walk him off the stage, and then they tried saying it was like AI or a deep fake. Totally lying. But apparently the old donors, they like Biden because he's easy to boss around. He's a corpse at this point, not doing anything, and they want the power. So when it comes to potentially replacing Biden, I know everyone's talking about it right now. I highly, at least right now, highly doubt it's going to happen, even though a lot of the younger Democrats want it to happen. When you look at Biden, he can still technically win. And also, if you replace him with Newsom, Kamala is completely out of the picture. Kamala would lose the popular vote to Trump by like 8 to 10 points. The internal polling that's come out when it's Kamala versus Trump, it's not even close. There's no way. The only way, if Biden does have to get replaced for an actual health emergency, I think it would be with someone maybe less known within the Democratic Party. Would they go Michelle Obama? That's always the wild card, right? Another legacy, maybe, I guess, but I don't think it would be Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is extremely disliked by about 3/4 of the country. He got destroyed in a showdown with DeSantis over COVID, so I highly doubt that. But right now, I do think they're going to stick with Biden. Let's go through some of this stuff. We have Biden's top advisor, Tom Perez, saying that they've gotten the poll wrong. And if you guys don't know what poll I'm referencing, it was the big time poll that came out that said 62% of Americans favor mass deportation. This is exactly what Trump proposed about 2.5 months ago when I covered a video and did 15 minutes on Trump's plan to mass deport illegal immigrants out of the United States and really help the country. And I think 62% is a low number. We've seen a lot of these people really start to wake up when it comes to the immigration. They try and guilt trip us and say, well, these people are coming, from a worse situation. It's understandable, but we're a first world country. We've got to make sure we're letting in people that are not going to commit crime. They need to be vetted. And that's a very, very popular opinion. What I just said, I'd say 75% of Americans agree with that. Of course, the only ones that disagree with that, it's mainly due to political reasons. They want as many illegals into the country because illegals, if they do end up voting, will vote Democrat. They got helped into the country from Democrats mainly. That's who supports them. So that's going to be who's voting liberal. And a lot of these white liberals like illegal immigrants just because of their potential political leaning that could help the Democrats in some of these swing states. It's totally disingenuous. Just look at Europe, which is even more liberal than the United States. A lot of those countries are having special emergency elections because they've shifted so far to the right, and they're saying, all right, we're done with the mass immigration from Africa, from the South. It's not going to happen. Even out in Europe, they're pissed off about it. So him coming out, they deny that this is even a thing. Yes, Americans do not want mass illegal immigration. 62% saying they don't want that is a low number. He's actually right. They've gotten the poll wrong. It's actually like 85% of Americans do not want this mass illegal immigration. We want there to be a vetting process. So he's actually technically right. Joe Biden will be heavily medicated for next week's debate. He is refusing a drug test. Now, I don't know if this is actually true, because Trump did come out and say he wanted Biden to take a drug test. He was going to take one, but it's obvious Biden is on stuff. They've practically admitted it. And apparently when they get Biden up on all the Adderall and other potential things, he gets really irritable. He gets really angry. He's just miserable to be around. And I would imagine that's the Biden we see during the debate. He's going to be really hopped up. He's just going to be really just disgusting. The same thing at the State of the Union, where liberals were like, whoa, this is really not good. Some of them tried to swing it, but they were internally saying that, this guy is completely lost it because he was angry. It's mainly due to the side effects of all the drugs they give him. And I mean, my goodness, whether or not you think Trump takes stuff to stay focused during the debates, that's, that's speculation, but Biden obviously is taking a lot of things to get through those debates. This is not a question in terms of, is Biden competent to be in the White House for 4 more years? We all know he shouldn't be in the White House right now. He can barely walk. Like this whole thing, and they're still trying to argue it. Like, there's no point in arguing it. Just, if you think he's a better option, if you think a corpse is a better option than Trump because you think Trump's a nuclear threat, all right, I can understand that. Obviously, I'm not going to agree with it, but at least that's a reason. This whole stuff where it's like they make Biden this young stallion and they say that, like, they're trying to defend him. No, he doesn't need anything. That he can't walk, he can't move. He's falling over all over the place. There's 10 clips a day of him, and they're still trying to defend it. It is ridiculous. We've got top Democrats, including Biden's own staff, giving leaks. Oh yeah, this was the Axios report talking about undermining Biden, saying he has no viable reelection strategy. Well, there's multiple problems with Biden's reelection strategy right now. Number one, his approval rating is the worst in history. Number two, he really can't campaign because he's too old. You need to be aggressive on the campaign trail, go out there. They're trying to get Trump on house arrest. He's going to be sentenced on July 11th, 4 days before the RNC, and they want Trump on house arrest. They don't want him campaigning because it's such a huge advantage for Trump. Trump can knock out 2 cities a day, maybe 3 cities if he really wanted to, at like 9 a.m., 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Trump's in the best shape of his life right now. You can see him. He's lost a lot of weight. He's actually looking skinny at this point. So Trump is just running around everywhere. Biden can't do anything. Biden is the one that needs to catch up, but he's so... at this point, the cognitive ability is just not there, and he's so handicapped he can't walk anywhere. He could barely do 1 rally a day. It's more like about 4 rallies in the span of 7 days. I think that's probably what Biden could get at this point. Maybe they could try and, drag him out there for 1 a day, but it's not good. So we have Rachel Maddow and AOC among liberal media with Democratic lawmakers who worry Trump will jail them in massive camps if he wins the presidency. I did just recently see today a Donald Trump rally, and yeah, he singled out AOC, and he did say that if he wins, AOC is headed towards a North Korean internment camp. And it's so sad, and it's so anti-American, and that's what's going to be happening to AOC. Apparently, Maddow is going to Russia to be one of Putin's slaves, and AOC is going to be going to North Korea to go to one of their camps. So such horrible, terrible. Oh yeah, I saw this. The Lincoln Project, the fake support for Glenn Youngkin when he won in 2021. Look at this girl. I mean, who believes this? The Lincoln Project dresses up. Oh, Glenn Youngkin's a white supremacist. It's hilarious. Louis C.K. explaining the left and the fact that they want open borders because they believe America deserves to be destroyed since it is so much better than other countries. And so, yes, this is a big thing. And this is what a lot of the therapists in California and other places out west say is a huge problem with particularly women aged like 27 to 33, white women. They have this horrible guilt mentality where they hate their own skin color. And you'll get these therapists talking to them and they'll say, my boyfriend's a bitch, or, something about, males and the patriarchy. And these therapists, they're like, no, your real issue is you hate your skin color. It's a big problem. That's why you need to be in therapy. You're right. You do need therapy, but not because of your boyfriend, not because of the patriarchy, not because of some white male. You hate your own skin color. You go to these colleges and listen, whether or not, when it comes to college, there was something I wanted to talk about at the top of this with college where somebody gets their student loans paid off, and it's just so ridiculous. I'm going to get to that at the end. But these women, it's just like, it's not that they're indoctrinated, but I mean, come on. When you've got, it's come out, the studies, 99% of the professors are liberal at these colleges, especially the major colleges, the Ivy League colleges. I mean, just look at the lack of critical thinking skills for these kids when it comes to Palestine and Israel. I mean, my goodness, you would think with the worldview that these left socialist people have, they would love what Israel is doing, trying to blow Palestine off the map, because Palestine doesn't view women as equal citizens. So you'd think that'd be a little bit of a problem, but no. It's the evil colonizers, and I'm not going to get into that. But it's just funny how these people, I don't even think they understand what Palestine and what the Palestinians actually support. It's hilarious. And then they defend them. You're defending that worldview. They're the ones that champion this, women are equal to men. And I also did see that women have to register for the draft now. And I saw Republicans doing victory laps for that. That's not a very, we got to stop doing this falsehood of men and women being equal. It's just ridiculous, and I think it's bad. I think, you know, it's the same thing with obviously men making more money in terms of jobs. It's mainly because they work longer hours in terms of, you know, per hour based on the amount of work that they do. They are more profitable. It's been studied. It's not that the job market is sexist. But it's the same thing with like women in the military. They should not be registering for the draft. This idea, it's just so stupid. I know Republicans like that because like, oh, you get equality, but it's like we're pretending. It's just ridiculous. And here, just the last thing I wanted to look at, Biden's approval rating via 538. It is sub 40%, and it's been sub 40% for a while now. Trump at this point, here it is. Trump at this point was right around 40%. Biden's at 38%. And you have to factor in the fact that there is 0% chance Trump would be at 40% approval rating if the pandemic did not happen. Trump was actually trending up towards 50%, and a lot of independents were galvanizing around Trump with a strong economy with zero inflation. So this is remarkable, and these numbers right here, they prove it, that Biden is actually worse in terms of approval rating while Trump was dealing with a global pandemic and just completely hit it out of the park. I would love to debate anyone on Trump's handling of the pandemic. You couldn't handle it any better than how he did. And I'm not trying to blow Trump. I'm just saying in general, listen, we didn't know what the pandemic, we didn't know about the disease, we didn't know how many young people it killed. He had to shut the country down for a month. He was proactive, unlike Gavin Newsom and a lot of these, you know, liberal mayors who just kept everyone locked down because they were like, I'm right, we need to lock down. Trump's like, no, life has to go on. We actually have to open the economy. We're not China. We're not going to have a zero COVID policy. And then we waited a month. We saw it really didn't affect young people, and Trump had to open everything back up. He was proactive. That's as good as you could handle it. Obviously, it was a horrible situation. It's a lose-lose situation no matter what you do. And it happened right before Trump's reelection as the incumbent, which was just terrible timing. But, I mean, at this point with Biden, reportedly, apparently Biden's dog is going around just biting everyone. He's bitten like 30 Secret Service agents in the White House, and Biden won't get rid of it. They're telling him you got to train it. He bit one of the Secret Service agents so hard they started bleeding. They had to delete the footage of it to try and hide it. I don't know what's going on with Biden at this point, but I'll say this approval rating is why they want him out. It is historically bad. It's not improving at all. People were saying they were coping. A lot of the far left Democrats, they were like, back in October, well, you know, people are going to galvanize around Biden. His approval rating will go up. He'll go up in terms of polling numbers. And it's just not happening. And I am seeing more and more people fall into the trap of, well, Trump just has a 1-point lead, or it's tied, or Biden's up by 1. When you look at the head-to-head popular vote, it really is meaningless. Now it gives you a general kind of gaze of where we're at, but the real numbers are the swing state polls, and you're seeing Arizona, you're seeing Nevada still trend heavily towards Trump. Yes, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin are still very close, but also Georgia trending heavily towards Trump, and you've got these approval numbers as bad as they are. I actually think at this point, 538 has... If you look at Trump's favorability, Trump right now does have a higher favorability than Biden. He's got around a 42% favorability rating. Biden's at around 38. So that's remarkable considering how polarizing Trump is. The Democrats are coming out saying he's going to put them in camps, and he still has this approval rating. It's just ridiculous. I mean, the stuff that's gone on over the past week where they're trying to say everything's a deep fake, they're denying everything. You just got to own it at this point, and we'll see what happens during the debate. We'll see if he acts like he did during the State of the Union. I would expect that, and I would expect Trump to be very balanced, very calm. That's kind of was his strategy during the second debate with Biden. He was perceived a lot better than the first one, but it's the weird thing with this debate where you can't interrupt. I think that's a horrible rule, but Trump agreed to it, so we'll have to see what ends up happening when it comes to that. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.